I purchase faulty electronic items on eBay, attempt to fix them and then sell them on for a profit. We are currently on a 4-win streak. The last time we hit a 5-win streak was back at episode number 25. So a very, very long time ago. Our overall profit is £275. Let's make it that sweet, sweet 5 wins in a row today. Welcome your faces back to episode number 78 of the series Profit or Loss. Today is the day we repeat history. We have ourselves a power lead, which is always nice and handy. I actually paid a grand total of £180 for this faulty PlayStation 5. Now the listing states the PS5 is in great condition, but when you try and turn it on, the blue light comes on for about 1 second and turns back off, so selling as spares or repairs. As always, let's just do our due diligence and make sure that is accurate. So I plug the power in, press the power button. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you saw, blue light and then straight back off. What happens if I go to push the button again? Yeah, okay, fine. That, to me, is indicating some sort of short with the console, which, believe it or not, could be good news. It might be something relatively simple. I could be, of course, which is 90% of the time, absolutely wrong. Of course, we need to start by taking it apart. So by the looks of it as well, it has been opened before. I did actually receive a message from the eBay seller after I purchased the item. They did in fact say, "Hi Joey, I found your YouTube channel. I see you get a little bit worried about the warranty sticker being off before. This one has, but I assure you it's not been apart after the fault happened or in my ownership. I noticed a void sticker when I manually removed the disc. And basically, please can I do a factory reset?" Which of course I always do anyway as standard. So they're saying that they've been inside this, I think anyway, to at least just get the disc out. Now perhaps they took the disc drive, but did they leave? No SSD. One day. That definitely doesn't feel like it's been opened before. Perhaps they just put the screwdriver in here to eject the disc. But again, I don't know why the warranty sticker would have been taken off. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure you can eject the disc just by you putting a Phillips down here and doing it that way. Yeah, and that screw is 100% loose. That's not even the right one. No, that's the wrong screw in there. As is that one. That is way too short. No, this one's stripped. Let's try a T9 instead of a T8. Yeah, we got it. But that is going straight in the bin. I'm not using that. That's the correct screw there. There's no screw in there. And we are indeed missing a screw down here as well. This is an OG model from what I can tell of the antennas. So we're looking at a 010 board. Doesn't look like that's been taken off before. Disk drive out. But they have indeed removed the stickers. They must have gone like this far down. They must have. First looks at the console. Yeah, I mean, I can't see any signs of flux or previous work. I mean, there is like a, I want to say a fingerprint just up here, which doesn't look like mine. Not that I can actually tell what my fingerprint looks like. I'm just wearing gloves. Might be a little bit of residue, whatever that is up there. Let's check our voltages and see what we get and what we don't get. Right, checking the voltages then. So on my multimeter, I actually have a button that adjusts the speed rating. So you know how before it was taking a while. So a massive thank you to everybody in the comments who's pointed this out. If I now measure, there we go. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker. So 12 volts there. Do we get the old 5? We get the 5. Do we get the 3? We get the 3.3, but is that a dodgy connection on my end? It is. So we get 3.3. We get 2 there. Do we get anything when we go to power the console up just here? Help if I had the button plugged in, wouldn't it, Joey? Try now. Yeah, it goes up to 2.5. And it's still on. Supposedly. Which is interesting. Still going. I'm confused. What? Wait, I've just had to turn it off, but what? I've just plugged the ribbon cable in. The light obviously came on because I had that unplugged and it's on. So either the fan is potentially causing a short or the disk drive is what I'm making of it. Could be something else. Testing's sake, I'm just going to plug in the antennas again because for all we know, it could be those. All right, let's try now. Power on. And yes, it's on. I don't think there's any way, shape or form that it could have been one of those screws that was shorter. If it was a longer screw that was in the wrong position, that might make a little bit of sense. So antennas are okay. Let's plug things back together and see what's causing this issue. So I'm only going to put a couple of these screws in. The ribbon cable down here actually looks fine. Let's use our original power cable for the disk drive. But again, this does look fine. Doesn't seem to be any issues from what I can see. Plug that in. Okay, so now I have pretty much everything attached other than solely the fan, which is here. And again, by looking at this, the connector itself all looks okay. But let's see what happens now. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's on. And the button works everything for the disk drive. I'm so confused. I've just taken it apart and put it back together. I'm just going to make sure that I get an image. Yeah, to confirm, I do get a display. Is it the fan? Fan plugged in. Rest it there. 3, 2, 1. What? I don't understand. I'm very confused. I just kind of need to build it back together and keep testing to see if there's anything that was causing this to not have any power, but it seems to be fine. So power it back down again. I've put around about half this side of the screws back, just in case it's something to do with like a flex in the board or something in an area. I just want to see that it's still working. Yeah, absolutely fine. So I'll go ahead and just put the rest of the screws back. I've got disk drive and fan connected now with all of the heatsink screws are on. Let's see what happens. Yeah, but it powers up and it works. I really don't understand this at all. I'm going to have to get like a game installed and give it a full-blown test to make sure that it's actually okay. But again, it's gone to a white light. Never had that before, ever. I think something was clearly causing a short, but I couldn't evidently see what it was. PS5 fully reassembled. Let's plug in the power and HDMI. All right, moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, power's on. I can hear the fan. It's all good. Didn't do anything other than taking it apart and putting it back together, but not even fully. There we go, white light. The PS5 is playing absolutely fine. I've downloaded a bunch of games. I'm awful at this game, XDefiant, but I played a little bit off camera, and again, absolutely fine. No issues at all. I'm currently playing through a preview window on OBS, so the latency is a little bit off. I'm thinking that maybe I just turn it off and on a bunch of times just to confirm that I'm not getting the same issue as what I did when I bought it. I'll probably play some more games on it, again, just to kind of stress test, but it's had a good, probably around about an hour of me testing. I'll note down exactly what the issue is when I go to sell it, but I think that's a profit, and it's in really good condition. Now, I'm just going to interrupt this video really quickly, just to say this video doesn't end when you think it does. So even when I go ahead and say my usual goodbye piece and all that stuff, the video doesn't end, and you'll find out why. So just keep watching. With that being said, let's move on to item number 2. If that's anything to go by, I think today we could be in for a profit. 5 in a row! I paid a grand total of £35 for this Nintendo Switch console. Now, spoiler alert, I bought 12 of these in total. So far I fixed 9 out of 10, and this is the 11th one. So if I manage to fix it, I go 10 out of 11, and then I've got 1 left to fix. So will we be making a profit again with this Nintendo Switch? It goes completely without saying. When you're looking for faulty items on eBay, you need to try your hardest to try and guarantee the fact that somebody hasn't been inside that console or electronic device before. If that means asking the seller some relevant questions, then so be it. But that 30 seconds of you sending that message could be the reason that you buy it or don't buy it, which ultimately in the long run is going to save you money. Now, this is no power, and as you can see from that port, it looks okay, which always worries me. Condition of this Switch in particular isn't the best out of the lot of 12 that I've had. In fact, it might be the worst, which goes a long way to say something about the seller. The seller of these has been incredible. It does, however, look like all of the screws are intact and don't look stripped. Let's quickly plug in our faulty ammeter that I broke on stream and then repaired. Let's see what happens. 0.07, that's normal for me. No shot. There is no way that this works as well. 170 milliamps. The fault supposedly with this is that it is dead. It was in a package which said dead on it. So I'm gonna leave that to charge for 5 minutes or so. There's no way that 2 out of 2 items that I've got today just work. Maybe this is the universe telling me that profit or loss should come to an end by reaching our £1,000 goal. Looks like the console has been reset, but I'm just gonna test this now with you to show that this is the first time I'm just turning it on. So I put both of the joysticks in, and it's just frozen on this screen. But it did register them, right? Ah, wait a minute. Wait. Yeah. That's connected. And that's connected. Oh. Maybe I was being silly. Just going to run through the setup very quick. I think this Joy-Con might actually be dead, because that's been in charge on another Nintendo Switch for hours, and now it's just showing no life, and it's also just not connecting. There is a way to test this. This is another Nintendo Switch that I have. Try and connect it to this one. Works fine. Yeah, it doesn't work. This Joy-Con's broke. What? Well, that's not great. Well, I'll test another one just to make sure. So this is the third one. Yeah. I'm kind of confused now because I almost feel like it worked, obviously, because it went onto the next screen. Did this rail like short something out on the controller, which is therefore broke it? Because this was working. I'm really quickly just going to disconnect the battery in this Joy-Con and reconnect it and just see if it went into like protection mode or something. Disconnect. Leave it for a couple of seconds. Plug back in. Does it light up? Yeah, it does. And it's connected to the Switch. Okay, now the other moment of truth is it going to short it out again? Was that just like some fluke? Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. What? Oh, I'm so confused. Okay, all right. Continuing with the setup. Testing the screen quickly. The screen is absolutely fine. Also, make sure these controllers are charging. Yeah, they're both full. What about if I plug the switch in? Yeah, both controllers seem to be charging. Does it work with a game? System update is required to use this game card. Okay. Connects to the internet, fine. Just going through the update. Update's gone through absolutely fine. Now does it take a game? Yes, it does. Look at that. I just also want to confirm, is that rail okay? Yeah, it is. Okay, well, it takes a game. Lovely. Does it take the SD card? Yes, it does. Last but not least, does it actually dock? Yes, it does. I'm dumbfounded. Before I go to list this, I will just make sure it charges fully, and I'll give Mario a little spin just to make sure it's not overheating or anything along those lines. I mean, it works. That's 2 for 2. They just work from 2 completely different sellers. That is some extraordinary luck. Extraordinary luck. The best thing about all of this is that I don't have any more stock to try and fix something else. So this episode is going to be very, very short. I wasn't obviously expecting for these things to just work. Technically, so that's 10 out of the 11 Nintendo Switches from that seller all working. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but let's head over to Sally's Spectacular Spreadsheet to check out the results. So total cost of this being £215, £35 for the Switch and £180 for the PS5. No parts, because I haven't done anything. Sell price now, again, I've said this on the last episode, Nintendo Switches I'm struggling to sell. I'm going to go £85 for the Nintendo Switch and £240 for the PS5, giving us a sell price of $325 and a gross profit in today's episode of £80 and 75 pence. Adding that down here, 80.75. The most important thing, by the way, being that we've hit a 5 win streak, and our now total profit sits a very healthy £355 and 80 pence. Full disclosure, we'll go on the eBay listing for these items. I feel like I've done a fair share of testing to make sure that they work. As always, I try to be as authentic as I can when buying faulty stuff, and this just happened today. I promise it wasn't planned. I don't think that will ever happen again, having 2 items that just work. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy somehow, I'll leave the playlist for this series just up here. Have a great rest of your week/weekend, whatever it is. And as always, I shall see you in the next one. Peace. Okay, so it's not quite the end of the episode. I played on the PS5. Again, everything absolutely fine. I must have left it for a good few hours. I went to go and turn the console on, and it was doing the same thing again. Which, to confirm, I've already started taking it apart because I have a sneaky suspicion it's actually going to be the power supply. When I plug it in and go to turn it on, it's beep on, beep off. I'm going to hook up UART, clear the error log, and then attempt to read the fault which this PS5 has given me. However, if it turns out to be a generic power failure, I do believe it might be a PSU issue. Maybe when the power supply gets cold, I have no idea. UART is all hooked up. I've cleared the error logs. I've restarted the console, and it's exactly what I thought. It's just generic power failures. A mix up between that and the other code, which is random shutdown. I think it's going to be the power supply. In which case, let's change it out and see if that makes a difference. I'll take this opportunity to confirm, because I don't think I did before, the liquid metal situation, there's no spillage from what I can see. And this side of the board looks ridiculously clean. I've put the new power supply in, so all we need to do now is reassemble it partially and test. All right, this is the first boot of this PSU. Let's see how you do. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Solid light, but I can't completely call it fixed there because it was a few hours after I left it from earlier on in the episode that it then stopped working. So I'm gonna have to do the exact same now. You have to leave it, just put it to the side for a few hours, and then come back and test. And that should be the next time you hear from me. All right, so it's been actually about 2 days, and I've repeated that exact process of just leaving it for a few hours, even installed games, played games, then reset the console, exactly what I did previously. And I can confirm that every single time I go to turn the console on, it turns on now and goes to a white light. So I do genuinely believe it was the power supply in this console, which does make sense. Now, I personally don't attempt to fix power supplies because I don't feel comfortable working around them, but perhaps I might know the exact person who will take this job on. I'm actually ending the video now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.